What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Oleksandr Usyk, Muhammad Ali. Get this. According to this post by Leon Willis, whoever that is, he stated that people are scared to say that Usyk is better than Ali. And let me counterpunch. I know showbiz, my brother, he's been getting ridiculed by the statements that he's made. And I understand why he said what he said, because what people are doing, okay, they're misconstruing Oleksandr Usyk. This is Oleksandr Usyk. Oleksandr Usyk is an all-time great pound-for-pound fighter. One of the best, if not the best, pound for pound fighter. When I mean pound for pound, I mean pound for fucking pound. Not the greatest heavyweight of all time. When you talk about Ali, what are you comparing him to? You got a guy that fought 7 times. With 5 different fighters. Right? So 7 times with 5 different fighters. You had Witherspoon, Chaz, Tim's brother. He's not an all-time great. Derek Chisora, he's not an all-time great. Anthony Joshua, 2-time unified heavyweight champion. Okay, that was an impressive win. But, of course, he's still fighting right now. Then he goes and beats Dubois. Dubois was the guy that was mandatory on the WBA end because he received the WBA regular belt. Okay, who was he? Right? He wasn't even a champ. Well, he was a champion technically, but he was the mandatory. What was the significance in him? Where do you rank Danny Dubois? Yeah, it was a good win for the weight class that you're at, but did that make you better than Ali? Tyson Fury twice. Then Danny Dubois again. And then you're looking at it, you're like, okay, well, why would you say that Usyk, just because he beat Danny Dubois, a person that he's already beaten, why would you then say that Usyk is better than Ali? Ali was a heavyweight. Usyk was a cruiserweight and a heavyweight. The problem is you guys forget that Usyk is not an original heavyweight, or he didn't start at heavyweight. He is a true heavyweight now. Don't get that misconstrued. But he was undisputed cruiserweight champion. Okay. Then he went up to heavyweight, became the unified, then became the undisputed, then left one of the belts. Daniel had it for a little while, then got the belt back that he had. Now he is 2-time undisputed, 3-time undisputed champion. Okay, 2-time undisputed heavyweight champion, 3-time undisputed champion because he was undisputed at cruiserweight with the Muhammad Ali trophy. I think it's unfair for us to keep saying, oh, well, Usyk's better than Muhammad Ali. Understand, if Usyk, being 38 years of age, okay, what he went through versus what Ali went through, you can't compare those. The prejudice, the racism, the lack of the government was against Ali. Okay, yes, Oleksandr Usyk fought against Russia. That's very impressive. Ali couldn't fight at all. Imagine if you snatched the best years from Oleksandr Usyk and couldn't let him fight. And Foreman, Frazier, Norton, how do you compare those guys that were all-time greats, that were great fighters that Muhammad Ali beat? Okay, needless to say, he lost to some of them, but he still came back and beat them. He came back through adversity and had grueling fights, some of the best fights in history, and showed how and why he was the best, why he was the greatest of all time. Oleksandr Usyk has never been defeated, but that doesn't mean that he's been in there with the competition and Muhammad Ali has been in there with. You have to understand that since we're comparing eras, which already sucks, okay? But you got people that are casuals that don't know any better. Oh man, he better than Ali. How the fuck do you know he's better than Ali? In fact, how do I know he's better than Ali? This is what I'm saying. You don't know who's better than whoever, but just to throw somebody's name over somebody else's name based on your opinion or based on what that fighter has done, I think is jumping the gun. Bars. You know why? Do you want to fucking know why? Because he's already beat Danny Dubois. That's just like him fighting Tyson again. He beats Tyson. Oh my God, he's the best of all time. No, that doesn't mean that. That means he's already done something. He was able to do it again on another day. That means, for me, to say the least, that he's completely better than the fighter that he's fought every time that they fought, which conveys he's just a better fighter. Just like we know he's better than Danny Dubois, just like we know he's better than Tyson Fury, just like we know he's better than Anthony Joshua. But between Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, and Danny Dubois, if all he has to beat are those guys, he doesn't have to fight anybody else, right? Because according to guys like Leon Willis or Wills, he's like, look, he's better than Ali. What? Stop. For one, it's not fair to compare generations because that's all fantasy bullshit anyway. But it's another thing to disrespect someone based on what you haven't seen them do. You see what I mean? If you haven't and you weren't there, if you weren't Larry Merchant, or if you weren't George Foreman, or if you weren't Jim Lampley, or someone old enough, a Howard Cosell, someone old enough to witness the things that Muhammad Ali did sometimes in 15 fucking rounds, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're just talking because you're a part of this era, and you're biased because you're in this era, because you are still living in the buzz of the now, what we've just seen Oleksandr Usyk do, which was very impressive. But Danny Dubois is not a great fighter. He's a good fighter. And he's already beat him. So the question you ask yourself is, he's better than Ali as a fighter. Well, before you say things like that, right? Before you say things like that, what would you think? And who would you think? Oleksandr Usyk, who would you think he could fight to become best? Who's better than Danny Dubois in the division? We still have to see, because again, we're still dealing with only certain fighters that only fight certain fighters. It ain't like it used to be back when Ali used to fight, because everybody fought each other. So you knew where he was versus he was. That's why people thought he was going to lose to Foreman, because Foreman already beat the guy that beat Ali. That's why we found out to know, hey, that doesn't matter. Let's see what happens. That's why I never kind of throw a fighter to the wolves, because guess what? You can have one fighter that loses, to a guy, and then that same guy ends up on top one day later or another day in the future. So, no, I don't think it's right for people to say that. And even you ask Oleksandr Usyk, he's not going to tell you nothing like that. And he'll tell you, no, I'm not the greatest. I'm just doing what I do because I believe in God and I prep myself to do so. And I don't drink and smoke because I don't damage my body. So I'm able to do more at 38 years of age. That's impressive all by itself, but he's an all-time pound-for-pound great. Yeah, that's what he is. Not the best heavyweight of all time. Those are two different things. Because one person is solely at heavyweight, Muhammad Ali, and you're trying to say all of his 56 wins don't compare to the 7 wins that Oleksandr Usyk has made in the last 5 years. Stop. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Leon Wills stating that people are scared to say that Usyk is better than Muhammad Ali. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.